Nigel. Try and keep this short as I can. So I'm down on the framing that's above the basement, holding up the first floor garage slab and the covered porch slab. What I'm looking at is around the stair area. I've got a really weird wall here, and I'll show you a little more about that on the other screen. Let me close down these guys for right now because I think it'll make it. Yeah, there we go. It's closer. And so what's happening is I've got, you might notice it kind of looks a little different than what you're used to, because underneath my drawing is an AutoCAD drawing. And so I've done a bunch of layout stuff, just really familiar with AutoCAD, so kind of do a little bit of both and combine them. So I'm trying to get this plan in both directions. Like here, I've got all this worked out, so I need to change the AutoCAD to there. But what I really need is all these joists, like they are here. I need them to center on here. But then I noticed I had these two floor joists, and I'm not sure, honestly, if I need them. And so this is a ghost wall I'm going to talk about. So when you're looking at the plan, you can identify this in the basement. And it's a bearing wall, obviously a floor joist here. So I wanted to put just a interior footing, or a what I recall to as a thickened slab. So you can see part of it showing up there. It's not showing up on the side, probably because the stairs are in the way. I was trying to see my stringers in here just to give me an idea of the stair, but I actually had to turn the stair on because I couldn't figure out how to turn just the stringers on, even though there is a layer. And maybe I moved them to a different layer somehow, but I don't think so. Anyway, the idea is to figure out this wall and determine this framing, and then I'd like to be able to turn wall surfaces on and off. And so if I go here, then over in the 3D view, what I'm looking at is that wall that's just behaving strange. I have to turn it invisible to see the framing. So if I pick it, open it, and then take and set its setting to invisible and say OK, I get to see the framing. And that's just odd behavior. Somehow the footing associated with that wall won't show up unless it's taken off invisible, and the framing won't show up unless it's not invisible. So if I look at a framing member and just check, not its label, its line style, it is in wall framing. So it's on the correct layer, and it should be showing up with these guys. Again, line style, wall framing. So I'm not sure what exactly is going on. I assume that it's there, but when I turn on the invisible wall, or make it not invisible, which I have to do on the other side here, because I can choose it, open it, and then go back and reverse that decision on the invisible, say OK. And I guess one thing, I'll take a look at the properties and then come back to the recording. So in the properties, I did manage to kind of doing the wrong one. Looking at this, I've got a foundation wall. And so if you look at layer, I changed it from walls normal to walls foundation. And that did make it show up in the 3D perspective camera view. Oops, I'm still in here. Let's go through the rest of this. So structure, you can see my settings there. It is a bearing wall. And what's kind of curious about that is it's a bearing wall, but for some reason, it's putting this drywall down here. And that it might be useful. Turn my highlighter on. So that's drywall going down under the slab. So if I were to, get out of here real quick and then be in this drawing and come over to it's floor surfaces, and there we are. So my slab is going to show up. What I would love to be able to do, and I don't know if this is possible, but I'd love to turn the slab on, but not the plywood. But I don't have any way to select either, so I can actually put them on my own layer. So if that's possible, love to know how to do it. So how this wall's behaving, it's kind of doing what I want. Don't understand this drywall going through there, and don't understand how I should have it set. What's wrong with my settings that are causing it to disappear if I, go back and choose it again, and then I change that layer to walls normal. I believe this will make it invisible, even out without. Oh, so, well, let's see what it's doing. Yeah, so that drywall disappeared. Footing disappeared. To go to walls normal. So it is a foundation wall. I get that. But it comes with drywall. And it should be just framing. So I don't know what's causing that. So I will put it back on walls normal, or walls foundation, when I save it and get it over to you. So one of the other issues I'm having is trying to get this to behave the way I want it to. I think it should be fairly obvious what I'd like, but I can't get it to do it. So the idea is to not have a head knocker, not have this sticking out. I'd like to move the post over so it catches just that corner. I'm reduced in total width of this area anyway, and the thing is that this is their pantry down in here. They just want to walk down, no door, and have this pantry. It's kind of like an extra pantry from the kitchen that's underneath the stair and just open to this whole room. So they don't want this closed off, and you try and draw a wall on top, because I could even go without the railing. It'd be nice if I had the railing and it terminated and not going through the framing. I'm sure the framers can figure that out, but it just, I like to turn in nice looking work. One option is to have a wall above the stair, but not below. So trying to figure out how to make that function, and then I can move my post over and get that all to work out. If you're wondering about these guys, it's because he wants outlets on those, so they're just framed out, so I can put remodel outlets on them. This is also Nadura block. So one of the other issues I have with this model is trying to get this to resolve, and I've done pretty good at covering this up. So what happens is the wall itself, let me turn surfaces off. The wall itself is, the garage slab ends right here. So I just framed out above it, put plywood on, and this will be where the water heaters and stuff are back in this little area. And it's trying to get this portion to draw correctly, and I don't know if it's even possible. But this is not a true 3/4 distance to, it is from the framing to the bottom, but this concrete should be right up to the same height as that portion right there. And I've managed to get a lot of the issues handled in here, but it's not perfect. So if you can see what I'm trying to do, I've got a transition here because this will be concrete slab in this patio here, maintenance free type deal. So I'm actually going to pull all these back. I'm going to bring the wall up to the bottom of the sill and pull all those back, put a ledger inside. So there's a transition right here because the floor trusses go over the wall and sit on it. And then when I get to here, I need the wall to come up for it to be a slab. But when I turn the surfaces back on, I've just basically said so far, until I can figure this out, ignore this drop, because we're going to have a sloped garage anyway, which I have no idea how to do. Make that slab slope, and managed to get this worked out. This was kind of interesting, putting the beam in there and putting the wall below. So I think I've got plenty of room for the garage door openers and such, but needed to support that. So how, if any way, can I fix this? And if we go, turn that one. If we go here and look at the perspective overview, now I'm in the basement. So I want to come up top, come on out into the garage. And here, I used to have a double base board there, but I've got that resolved. You know, it's not pretty clean, but it's a garage, and that's kind of the way that garages can tend to be. If I wanted to put a splash wall, bringing this up, trying to figure out how I might do that, but this is just weird, and it just this I understand why it's doing that, so it's not a real problem, and I may even raise it up if they decide they want a splash wall. So far, they seem like they don't. I don't know why, but they don't. So that's kind of where I'm at. So my last kind of, I guess it's not a horrible issue, but in here, when I've got this all turned on, I'm going to figure this out. I might go with a wider beam so I can make it shallower. But when I get to that point, I think I can figure out how to, if I box this out, I may have to just use surfaces to drop this down. Whoop, I didn't use the right controller to do that. To drop this down, but I need enough room to pull this up and not hit my beam. So I got to figure that out. But any thoughts? Looks like I've got to figure out the light interference now that we've got the structure figured out. So really cool tool for me to be able to see what's going on and figure things out. But if you can give me any hints as to how I might solve some of these, especially those weird issues with the wall, the stair. The other thing I've got, and you can take a look at this, but whenever I try and do a tiny little move over, it just becomes a nightmare with dealing with every little nuance of the stairs disappearing and whatnot. But this door, I mean, I just have it listed in my AutoCAD because you can see it's 34 and 15/16. Obviously, that's not what I'm after. And I've got it figured out in the schedule, and they're basically just going to have to bust out the chisel and knock that 16th off. No, I'm kidding. But that's how it's showing up. I can't squeeze it. It won't allow me to fudge it. It just won't allow it. So what sucks is the door schedule. So my schedule, I'm just putting it in AutoCAD and gonna paste it on because I can't get this to behave the way I'd like. So that's an issue I've been dealing with quite a lot. Trying to figure out how to resolve that. No, there's not 2 dining rooms. It's just a choice of tables. So keep it short, I'm going to stop this. But yeah, I've got some questions. The weirdness that nobody's been able to figure out, I'll just show you real quick, is if you go up to the turret, there's this little jog in the wall. This should just come to that point and go straight back. I think it's just going to be what it is. This is the best I could figure out to get a lead roof. Our materials, and I'd like to have the stripes down it, but man, I can't find anything for lead roofs, and I surf the web to get something to just plaster on here, create my own material, but it's pretty weird. Anyway, oh, don't know what's going on there, but this is a problem. Let's just cover this one real quick. So if you notice, there's siding back here. Why does Chief think that I need siding inside this space? I don't understand. I should not have any siding in there, but I certainly should have it out here. So I just noticed that had disappeared. This was not like this earlier, so I don't know why that has disappeared. And I can check in here and go up, and you can see through this roof it's not giving me a problem. It's not creating some sort of siding mess, but also I've got it framed slightly different. Let's check this one too real quick, but I think this won't have it either. Yeah, it's actually an interior space. Yeah, this is all working out nicely. So kind of strange here behavior though. I can't get a truss to just go flat through and stick frame this up. I can't get the behavior of this truss to just be flat. And you know, I know I could probably fudge stuff like this. Well, that actually did it. It went perfectly flat. So sorry if I even bothered you with that one. But maybe it's not perfect. So that's one of the things is when I want to do something like this and get it to be perfect, it's really hard. You can see it snapping above or just below where I want it to have it flat and mesh out with what's going on there. And then I have no idea what artifact that is, but that probably won't be a deal killer. So anyway, there's been some complications with this roof from the get-go, but I'm working it out. So still got some more to do. Anyway, appreciate your help. You've been great. Oh, this footing, I think I'll figure this out on my own, but yeah, don't want that. It's just gonna have the trusses extend out, but I'm working on that right now. That's why I'm working on this level of floor framing, so hopefully that'll all be resolved. So thanks for your time. Hope this video wasn't too long.